Hello, everyone, and welcome to Justaposition, the podcast where we explore mental health, vulnerability, and personal life experiences. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and stream new episodes out every Thursday wherever you listen to your podcast. I am really excited for this episode because we're going to be talking about the holidays. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, which you definitely should if you want to be involved in these episodes, I put out a Q&A questionnaire asking what your guys' least favorite things about the holidays are. And the reason why I asked that is because I think, I've personally always had mixed opinions when it comes to the holidays, which might sound like a bad thing because I know when it comes to Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, it's always met with such positivity and like the Christmas spirit and all of that, which I think is wonderful. But I also think that for me, as well as a lot of people, the holidays can be a not so fun time. And I definitely think there's like a really cool juxtaposition to explore there between kind of the expectation that the holidays have with them versus the reality that a lot of people, including myself, experience. And I'm really interested to see what your guys' personal least favorite things about the holidays are, or what you don't like about them. React to what you guys have submitted and share some of my personal experiences and stories as well, because the holidays are coming up. Well, they're not coming up. They're kind of already here. We already had Thanksgiving. Christmas is coming very, very soon. And I know that a lot of people are already feeling the Christmas stress, and New Year's is right around the corner as well. And so I know that we're already in the thick of it, and a lot of people have a lot of thoughts, and I'm excited to see what you guys have submitted. I have a bunch of your answers right here. I have not looked at them yet, but I'm going to react to them now and kind of see what your guys' personal hot takes on the holidays are and dissect some of them. So let's just jump in real quick. Thank you guys. So many of you guys submitted responses. I guess a lot of you guys have things that you don't like about the holidays, and same here. One of the main things that I saw a bunch of different responses, but I saw a lot of people mention like consumerism, the retail obsession with Christmas and the holidays, and how it has become so, capitalistic in nature versus what I believe it's really supposed to be focused on, which is the spirit of giving and being with people you love. And I have to agree with this. I personally don't like the kind of market capitalization of the holidays and how there's so much emphasis put on like having grand parties and fancy gifts and all these decorations and, doing all of these things for people in your life and making it very decadent and grand. I think in a lot of ways, for a lot of people, it can kind of distract from what the real purpose of it is supposed to be. And I think I saw one response just barely that said, oh yeah, so the thing that Annie said is her least favorite thing about the holidays is having enough money to buy everyone good gifts. And that made me really sad to see, because when it comes to like gift giving, I have always been someone who does not believe that good gifts have to have a material value or have to have a monetary value in any way. And let me explain, like one of my love languages is gift giving. I love giving people in my life gifts that I know will make them smile, that I can see their, excited reaction and how much it means to them, how much it touches them. Like that's one of my personal favorite things. I will say like gift receiving isn't totally my love language, but I love gift giving. Ever since I was little, like that was always the thing I loved about Christmas. And me and Christmas have some beef, and I'll get into that later in the episode because it definitely has not always been one of my favorite holidays, but I always have loved the element of gift giving behind it. But I don't think that we should have this expectation that you need to buy nice gifts for everyone in your life, or first that you even have to buy any gift for anyone in your life, or that you should feel this pressure to spend a lot of money on the people you love. Because when I think back to some of the most meaningful gifts that I've ever experienced, they totally range in monetary value. I mean, of course, I've had some gifts in the past that have really touched me and meant a lot that maybe are like higher priced items. But when I think of a lot of the gifts that really mean the most to me, they've all been things that can literally be made for like $1, $2, $5, and didn't require a lot of money, but instead it kind of reflected the love that person had for me, or just the time, energy, and thought that they put into their gift. One thing I love that we did as a family, and I will say I don't have a lot of positive memories associated with my family's Christmases, but there was this one thing that we did every year that I always love sharing with my friends because I think it's such a cool thing that a lot of people should do. We called it Gift of the Heart. And so every year, at the beginning of December, I believe, we would each draw a name of a member in our family that we would be assigned to as the gift of the heart. And basically, over the course of that month, we would be able to make a gift that had to be $20 and less, but was a gift that was really special from the heart and reflected, time and energy that you put into a gift that really meant a lot. So this could be so many different things. And we would open these gifts on Christmas Eve instead of Christmas Day as kind of like the start to Christmas, to set the precedent that Christmas shouldn't be about, fancy, expensive, or just a bunch of gifts, and that it really is about the spirit of giving. And I remember so many of these gifts were so cool. Like, I believe my dad at one point had built one of my siblings out of like scrap wood, a like playhouse kind of in the back area of our house. It didn't cost any money necessarily. It just took the time to build and construct it. I remember my dad, his mom had died when he was younger. And so what my sister did is she went to a bunch of people in his life who knew his mother and transcribed all of their memories and stories and got any pictures that they had of her and compiled it in a book that she gave to him. Like, such cool gifts that take a lot of thinking and time and energy, but were some of the most meaningful gifts that we had ever received. And I think that's like a really cool thing. That's actually something that I want to continue doing in the future. Like, if I ever, have a family of my own, I would absolutely love to do that. But I think, for anyone out there who does feel like the pressure or expectation of having to spend a lot of money on gifts, I think honestly implementing kind of that or something similar to it is a really good way of making sure that you can give people gifts that mean a lot, but don't have to spend a lot of money. Like, I don't think we should put that pressure at all. And I think it's stupid that Christmas and the holidays have become so commercialized in that sense, because they shouldn't be. Like, that's not what the holiday is about. And I don't like it when companies kind of put the pressure on people to be like, well, do you really love them? Because someone who really loves them would get them this kind of gift. Like, it's stupid. Like, don't listen to all that BS. I completely agree with what you guys were saying, because I saw, at least how many, 1, 2, 3 people submit that, and I haven't even scrolled down yet. So completely agree with that take. Oh, okay. This person said their least favorite thing about the holidays is being far away from my family and having to spend it with my monster-in-law. Oof. I'm not going to say the name of that person, obviously. That sounds rough. I am so sorry, but I completely understand having to be far away from your family or, people that you love, because when I, was it 17 or 18? I always forget. Basically, when I was a young adult, I moved to Hawaii. And at that point in my life, well, most of my life, actually, I've always just been super broke. But especially that time in my life, I was very, very broke. And having moved from Arizona to Hawaii, there was absolutely no way in hell I was able to afford a plane ticket to go back to Arizona. Plus, at that point in my life, I didn't necessarily want to spend the holidays with my family. But even if I wanted to, like, it is difficult being away from family, being away from loved ones, and not being able to spend it with them during the holidays. Like, for the first few years that I had moved out of my home, I, spent the holidays by myself, or primarily working. To be honest, I was that person that was like, please schedule me to work on the holidays. First off, because it was pay and a half, so I got paid more. Second, because I knew that there was going to be other coworkers who wanted to spend the holidays with their families. And I was like, they should be able to spend it with them, not me. I'll work on those days because I don't have anyone to spend it with. And so a lot of the years definitely felt kind of more lonely. And that's not to say that I didn't have people in my life that I was close to, or that, we would try to do like little, like, go out to eat for like a Christmas dinner or something like that, like little celebrations. But it wasn't until recently that I was able to have like actual Christmas, New Year's, like holiday celebrations or Friendsgivings together with people that I loved. That has only been like a recent thing, and I'm very grateful for that. But every year I'm always reminded of like those years that I spent by myself or spent working. And that's why I think the holidays can be a really lonely time for a lot of people. Not everyone has the luxury of being able to spend with their family or with their loved ones. Not everyone has the luxury of being able to have a family to spend it with. And that's why, I think sometimes we put a little bit too much emphasis or talk a little bit too much about the positive aspects of the holidays and ignore all the people who it may be a very triggering, lonely, or isolating time for. I really feel that because I was definitely in that position before, and it's taken a lot of time to get to the point where I'm like, wow, I feel really happy and comfortable with the people that I've been able to surround myself with to celebrate the holidays with. But not everyone's in that position. So totally understand that it is hard being away from family and loved ones during this time of the year. Like, not fun. Oh my God, this next one I relate to so much. I feel like this is an unpopular opinion that whoever submitted also has with me, because I never really hear people talking about this one. But she said Christmas music, working retail. Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh my God. I get so tired of Christmas music. Call me a Grinch. Call me Scrooge. I don't like the majority of Christmas music. And it's not because I don't like the songs. I do. They're beautiful songs. I'm just so annoyed that we can't have or make any new Christmas music, and that there's 8 Christmas songs that exist out there, and everyone's constantly just making remixes and remakes of the same exact songs, and we have to hear them over and over and over again. And maybe people don't get too annoyed with this, but if you have worked with in retail or just worked as a service worker, you will totally understand this, because nothing sucks more than having to, for 2 months straight, listen to the same 8 Christmas songs just on repeat over and over and over again. And I get so annoyed because I'm like, oh my God, can we can we make new Christmas music? Like, can we get some innovation in the room? Like, that's honestly why, it may sound funny, but that's why I like listening to Christmas albums like Ariana Grande's Christmas album, or even like EDM Christmas music. I know that sounds really weird and cheesy, but I'm like, at least it's not just the same, like Michael Bublé, Bing Crosby, Mariah Carey songs that circulate every year, because love them to death and love those songs. But oh my God, I'm so sick of them. Like, let's get some new Christmas music in the house, y'all. I'm over it. Oh, Lincoln said their least favorite thing about the holidays is too much skincare for Christmas, and you can't test it all out because you will break out. I wish I had that problem. No, just kidding. I actually do have that problem, but not because people are buying me skincare, because I have a ridiculous skincare shopping addiction problem. But if you're one of those people that does get too much skincare at Christmas, wow, may I say you are in a blessed position. But don't stress about it, because skincare products last for a while. Like, usually for most products, they will last for like a year and a half before you open them. And even after that, they'll last for like 6 months to a year. So, excuse me. So feel free to test them out, elongate the amount of time that you're testing them out. Don't use a bunch of skincare products all at once. Like, if there's anything I hope can learn from my channel, it's that you don't need to use a lot of products. You don't need to test a bunch of new products that you get all out at the same time, because that's just going to be way too much stress for your skin. You're probably going to break out. You're probably going to be extra sensitized and red, and no one wants that when we all want to be looking hot on New Year's Eve. No bueno. But great problem to have, my friend. The next response I see, I will say I have to disagree with kindly. This person said gaining weight. I hear you in the sense that there's definitely like an expectation to not put on too much holiday weight. And I know that there's so many like treats and snacks and goodies and sugary, things to eat during the holiday season. But if I'm being honest, I am so over this, like, oh, I don't want to have too many Christmas cookies because I don't want to put on too much weight. I got to have my body snatched for New Year's or whatever. Like I, I understand why there's a societal pressure to feel that way, but as someone who has previously experienced disordered eating, an eating disorder, all of that, like when I get in that mind frame, it tends to be very triggering and lead to like unhealthy mental coping mechanisms that I don't think are anywhere needed in the holiday season. And I used to be so aware of that, like, especially during my, the worst part of my eating disorder, holidays were really tricky because I would just beat myself up about every single holiday treat I would eat, like if I was invited to like a holiday event or like, a work party or something like that. And I would cave into the temptation to have like a single Christmas cookie. And then afterwards I would just be like beating myself up. Like, why did I eat that? I'm going to gain weight. Now I need to like make sure that I'm eating healthy for the rest of the week so that I don't put on weight from that. Like, it's just a really negative, like, mental mindset to be in, and I don't think it's positive or healthy in any way. And granted, I don't think it's good to be eating sugary, sweet holiday food throughout the whole year, but like, it's the holidays, like, it's, you can let loose, you can enjoy, like, that's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about like having fun, having a good time. So don't beat yourself up too much about gaining weight. It's okay if it happens. It's not a big deal. Like, of course, make sure you're being healthy, make sure that you're treating your body right, but don't beat yourself up about it, because I have been down that path for way too many years. And let me tell you, there is no happy ending in that route. Don't recommend it. 0 out of 10. Don't get trapped by those, mindsets, because that's not the way to experience the holidays. Ooh, Maddie said one that's really interesting. Seeing people be stressed. You know what? I feel like you see this a lot when working as a service worker, when working in retail, or like, I guess you could also really definitely see it if you work with, within financial planning or stuff like that. As I was saying before, the holidays can be a stressful time for a lot of people. And I think if any of us are in a position where we're able to, say, afford to be able to get gifts for people or be able to get time off, be able to spend time with family, or have any of those luxuries, I think it's easy for a lot of us to forget how stressful it can be, like particularly as a parent, if you're trying to provide for your children, making sure that the magic of Christmas is there. It can be really freaking stressful to be able to do that. And where I grew up, it was an environment with a lot of people and families who struggled very, very heavily financially. And so there was always people in our environment that didn't know if they were going to be able to get any gifts for their kids during Christmas, that wouldn't be able to get any time off on Christmas Day, that wouldn't be able to do anything more than, say, like a small Christmas dinner, whatever it may be. Like, and it additionally would put so much stress and anxiety on the parents or the people providing in that situation that it kind of tainted the entire holiday spirit and holiday experience overall. And it can be really easy to forget that if we're not in that position. And it kind of sucks too, because I think a lot of us just aren't aware of how often it happens, like how many people in our lives do struggle with that, which is why I think like what I did growing up, like we would volunteer, I believe for like shelters, we would bring food to families or bring gifts to families that were struggling, so that the parents could give gifts to their kids or different things like that. I think it's really cool when people do that during the holiday season, because it's a good reminder that, it's not always fun for everyone, particularly parents. And so, yeah, I definitely see how a lot of people can be stressed. And particularly for people who work in retail or as service workers, I feel like you see that firsthand, because even though people talk about the holiday spirit, let me tell you, being a service worker, you see some of the worst parts of people during the holiday season because of that stress. And so, yeah, I think it's good to take it easy on people. It's good to remember that not everyone is in a good position to be able to handle all of that. And just be kind, of course. If you guys haven't watched my previous episode where I talked about my work environments, what my previous jobs were, I kind of talked about how like we need to take it a little bit easier on people, whether they are working in those positions or whether they're not. We need to just remember that people are struggling, that people are going through a lot of stuff, and just to practice a little bit more kindness. I think that's one of the best parts of the holiday season is being able to practice that kindness and a little bit of that, like spirit of Christmas, if you will. Like, I think that's the most beautiful part. So, what's really interesting? The main response and the main thing that I was wanting to talk about in this episode that I saw is people talking about the pain or stress of having to spend it with family who are not accepting, who are judgmental, who create stress, or just having to be in family environments that are not positive or healthy. And I was firsthand surprised to see that this was the number one response that you guys provided, because that's actually the main reason why I haven't enjoyed Christmas in the past. Because I guess I'll give a little bit of a backstory. Growing up, and you guys know this if you've listened to episodes or if you've watched my mental health series on my channel, like I unfortunately was not raised in a very healthy environment. And while definitely Christmas we always tried to make it like a positive time of the year, it was always tainted by the elements of unhealthiness and toxicity that were present in our family dynamic. And I remember, should I share this story? I don't know if I should share this. This is a little bit too personal. No, you know what? This podcast is about being vulnerable. I think I'll share this story. I personally was never someone who hated the holidays or hated Christmas necessarily before I went off to college, but I was able to spend one Christmas with my family when I came back home in the middle of college. And the reason I come back home was to try and rebuild the relationships with members of my family that had been pretty broken. And during the time that I was home, I was able to come out to them. And you guys probably know this already, but I was essentially disowned by members of my family for being gay, and definitely rejected. And it not only completely destroyed and tainted the relationships that I had tried to rebuild, but it also made for a very tense, uncomfortable, and very toxic dynamic for the amount of time that I was there. But I was able to spend Christmas with my family. And I remember really looking forward to Christmas because I was like, this is my favorite time of the year. And because it's about gift giving, which I absolutely love. And just, during this day, let's just forget about all the toxicity and all the stress and all the things that I've been so worried about. And let's just focus on at least pretending that we're a happy, healthy family. That's really what I wanted it to be. And I remember during this Christmas, there were members of my family that gave me a present to open up in front of everyone. And the present was a book about essentially gay conversion therapy, about how you can, come to Christ, go away from that lifestyle, fight against being gay, and essentially pray the gay away. And they gave it to me to open up in front of everyone in a really humiliating experience that was it was more than humiliating. It was very degrading and heartbreaking and very shameful. And in that moment, honestly, it tainted Christmas forever. I was like, fuck this holiday. I'm never going to enjoy Christmas again. I never want to celebrate it again. This was awful. And any Christmas that I have from now on will only remind me of this experience. It was so bad. It was not a fun time whatsoever. And from then on out, I kind of fully rejected the idea of spending Christmas with family, and rejected the holiday. Also, because right after that, I was disowned by my family. So, I firsthand understand how difficult it is to be in a family environment that is not positive, and having to go back home for the holidays or having to be amongst those people when it's not positive or uplifting to your mental health in any way. That really fucking sucks. It is not enjoyable at all. And I know there are so many people that go through this, particularly, people within the LGBT plus community. There's a lot more people than you think that don't face acceptance from their families for who they are, or have faced a lot of rejection or unhealthy family environments. And that's actually why in the years since, I've found a lot of joy and love by celebrating holidays with people in the LGBT community, other people who don't have a family to spend time with, other people who are alone, other people who may experience that holiday loneliness. Like, those are some of my favorite, like, Friendsgivings and Friends Christmas. I don't know what you call it. Friendsmas, I guess you can call it. Those have been some of my most positive memories, because it's so great to be able to spend it with other people who not only understand the complications of a toxic family dynamic, but who can also come together and support one another in whatever that looks like during the holiday season. And if you're someone who has experienced that, who doesn't have that level of closeness with your family, I want you to first know that, like, more than anything, I'm so proud that you're still going strong, that you're still committing to being a good person, that you're not going to continue to perpetrate or continue the cycles of unhealthiness that your family is determined to. And just being able to do that, even if it means spending Christmas or Thanksgiving or any holiday alone, like, that is really strong of you, and I commend you for that. And even if you are someone who you have to go back to that environment and you have to be around it, I'm proud of you for not letting that affect you and turning you into another generational cycle of that toxicity that your family is continuing. Like, that's first and foremost a really big step. When it comes to the holidays, I think a lot of people forget that depression and suicide rates increase a lot during the holiday season, particularly around Christmas and New Year's. And I think it's for not only all the reasons that you mentioned, but I think there is kind of this weird dynamic where loneliness increases around this time of the year because of all the messaging and push around spending time with people that you love, and how the holidays should be a positive experience, and how, you should be with family, and everyone should be happy, and blah, blah, blah. I think it tends to isolate anyone who doesn't feel connected to that message, or who doesn't have the benefit or luxury to be able to spend the holidays with people that they know and love. Like, I know for me in the past, like particularly during my college years, that's one of the reasons why I always wanted to work during Christmas and Thanksgiving, because I was like, you know what, I don't even have to think about the holidays. I don't even have to remember it exists or think about how I'm missing out, because the last thing I want to do is just spend time at home by myself, not celebrating the holidays and just thinking about the past memories and how, I don't have a support system in my life to be able to have these special times with. And so for me, it was definitely always like a depressing and sad and isolating time. And it's that way for a lot of people. It's a very difficult time of year. And I think that's why, and I will say now, I'm so grateful to have so many people in my life, chosen family, as I like to call them, to surround myself with, that have made this time of year and just life so much better and a lot easier to maintain and handle and process versus the past. I always say, family is chosen. And particularly for this time of year, I think any of you who might be feeling like lonely or isolated, I think you'd be surprised by how many people are also in the same situation and how much joy you can experience just by connecting with other people like that and being able to spend time with those people. There's more people than you think that won't be, celebrating with anyone. And it's a great time to be able to just have a small little celebration or have some time with them. And it can literally be as simple as just like going to McDonald's together and getting some McDonald's food. It can be a game night at someone's house when you're all off. Or it could even just be like a one-on-one hangout session with someone. Anything is better than like spending it alone or dwelling on kind of those depressing or isolating feelings that so many of us can feel. And I also want to say, like, there's also the option of being able to celebrate it with someone else's family. Like, if you don't have a positive family dynamic or people that you can share the holidays with, I guarantee you there's so many other families that would be more than happy to welcome you into their home I remember a few years ago, this was like one of my first experiences where I realized like, wow, maybe Christmas isn't so bad. Maybe this is something I can enjoy. A very close friend of mine, she invited me to her Christmas day that she was celebrating with her family that was visiting Hawaii. And it was such a beautiful experience to be like a fly on the wall in that room and watching their family dynamic and seeing how positive it was, how much love and support they had for everyone in their family. It was just so loving and so happy and so different than what I've experienced in the past, that it really helped open my mind to be like, wow, this is really beautiful, and there's hope out there. There's people who want to show love, and they were so welcoming to me with open arms, even though I was in no way like connected at all to their family beyond the friendship that I had with a few people. It was beautiful, and I know that like anyone who may be alone at this time of year out there, there's definitely going to be a family out there, or there's always the LGBT community. We, may be chaotic, we may be all over the place, but we watch out for each other. And there are so many people within the community that I know that watch out for each other's backs during this time of year and do Friendsgivings and Friendsmasses and all that kind of stuff that you are more than welcome to be a part of as well. And then I also want to say, like, if you are someone who does have the privilege of being able to spend time with family during this time of the year, I'd say just like keep an eye out and watch out for the people in your life that may seem like they don't have anyone to spend it with, who may seem like they're alone. Like, I'm so forever grateful to the people in my life who watched out for me, and would invite me to like holidays, because in the past that was something I would never ask for. I never felt comfortable. I never wanted to impose, essentially, and like ask if I could join these people's like Thanksgivings and Christmases and stuff. But the fact that they were always watching out for me, and they have consistently over the years invited me to be a part of these holidays, means so much to me, because more than anything, even if I'm not a part of necessarily those family dynamics, or even though I may not be connected to those people in those ways, being able to be in that environment of love is a joy for me, and something that definitely makes this time of year so much better. And I'm really happy to say that now I really, really enjoy Christmas and New Year's, the holidays. Not gonna lie, it still is a difficult time of the year for me. Like, I still definitely experience seasonal depression. That has not gone away. But even last year, I was able to spend Christmas with people that I love in snowy Colorado. It was so amazing, and it's just such a wonderful time of the year. And we did get COVID right after Christmas. That wasn't fun at the end of 2021, my first time getting COVID, but it was still a really positive experience. I really enjoyed it. New Year's was really fun. The past few New Year's have been really good celebrations. This year I was able to have dinner. I mean, I will say I'm not someone who supports what Thanksgiving means, but I love the concept of getting together with people that I love and having a good ass dinner. And that's what I was able to do this year, which was such a great experience as well. Being able to be a part of that. I had the same close friend actually who had invited me to the Christmas before. She invited me to a Thanksgiving with her family, her extended family this year, which was so lovely. And we have Friendsmasses plans and stuff like that. Like, I will say, like, I'm at such a better place with the holidays right now than I ever have been before. And for anyone out there who may feel like this is kind of a lonely time of the year, I want to say, just like, don't lose hope. This can be a really positive time of the year, even if you're someone like me who may not have a family to spend it with, who may feel completely isolated. This could be a really fun time of the year. And then the last thing I want to talk about is a response where someone said seasonal depression, feeling more depressed at this time of the year than any time else. And I was like, bitch, I feel this, because something about the holiday season, I don't know what it is, but depression hits hard. Maybe it's the cold. No, it's not the cold, because I'm in Hawaii and it's not cold here at all. And I still experience that seasonal depression. I really felt this comment, and I wanted to share my thoughts because as someone who is a veteran of experiencing seasonal depression, give me a badge. I was like, oh man, I relate to this a lot. I feel this because there's something about the holidays. It really is just a time where it feels like depression hits hard. And this is something I also want to talk about too, because we also tend to forget the seriousness of depression after the holiday season too. Like once New Year's is over and afterwards, it can be a really dark and difficult time for a lot of people. And I know it definitely has been for me. And so I kind of wanted to share like my personal tips and things that I've learned over the years that has helped a lot with it. First, I think it's for me, what has always like really helped is just focusing on like getting to the next holiday, getting to the next chapter. So like if I'm really struggling with my depression, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, just not feeling it. I'm really struggling with depression. I'm feeling overwhelmed, whatever it may be. I'm like, my mindset, what I'll literally do is kind of like trick my mind into being like, okay, Hyram, just make it to Thanksgiving. Just push until Thanksgiving. Keep going. Keep good energy, keep a good spirit, and then you can figure out after Thanksgiving. And then after that, I'm like, okay, let's make it to Christmas. Let's just get to Christmas. We can make it until then. And then after that, New Year's. Like, it sounds funny, but literally that kind of pacing mentality, even though I'm aware that like, depression is something that's not going to go away solely just after the holidays. It helps to like give me a pace and give me something to look forward to and focus on the positive thing that I'm waiting to come rather than letting depressive thoughts and kind of any of those negative emotions overtaking you. And so that's something that's been really positive for me. Another thing, like what I was talking about before, spending the holidays or spending this season with people who you love, whether that is family, whether that is chosen family, whether that is friends, or whether it's just with people who have like good hearts and are really kind. Surrounding yourself with people like that can be really helpful instead of isolating yourself or feeling like you're alone, because that can definitely contribute to a lot of the negative emotions or depressive thoughts and feelings that we have. Another thing that I've learned too is one of the best solutions, and this is something that I'm always trying to like reteach myself over and over, is one of the best ways to kind of, get yourself out of a depressive mood is through service to others, to giving to others, participating in something bigger than yourself that can help other people, whether that's volunteering, whether that's donating to organizations, whether that's, getting involved in activities that are helping the world, helping clean up nature, spending time with people who need it. Like when I was younger, we would go to old folks' homes and spend time with the older people there who, didn't have anyone visiting them or who were lonely. Whatever it may be, like I've learned over time that service to others and having that mindset of like, what can I give to other people, always helps at least lift my mood a little bit out of the very all-consuming emotions that depression can really perpetrate. It's a very simple solution. It can look very different, depending on what you're doing, but I've noticed it's always been able to really help me. Another thing that's always helped too is like getting out in nature. Excuse me, that's like a third time I've burped in this episode. Goddamn, Hyram. I've always noticed for me personally that like getting out in nature always does a good job of helping with my seasonal depression as well. And I know you may be like, Hyram, you live in Hawaii, it doesn't get cold there. Last year I spent a lot of time in Colorado during this time of the year, and girl, it is really cold there. There was like 3 feet of snow outside where I was staying. Like it is a lot. But I would still like go on drives, go up, driving through the mountains. Even I remember a day I went and played in the snow. Anything like that, getting out in nature, getting out, is really good. Like if anything, stimuli for the mind, but also a good way to kind of like get yourself out of that mindset and make yourself feel better. And I wanted to share these tips just because I know this can be really a really difficult time of the year for a lot of people. And maybe this isn't an episode where I'm just like, oh my gosh, guys, happy holidays. Like, what are you doing for Christmas? What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? I know it's not that focused, and I think it's because I'm a little bit, I guess I'm wanting to highlight maybe the people that feel like they might be ignored this time of the year, because I have also been in that position before. But yeah, I understand that it can be really difficult, and I hope these like tips and recommendations and personal stories have been able to help in some way, because if there's anything that you can, I hope, walk away from this episode hearing, is that there are so many people and so many things you can do and so many activities you can participate in during this time of the year that will help to make us feel less lonely, less isolated, surrounded by people we love, a part of something bigger than ourselves, and lift our mood in what I believe should really be the spirit of the holiday season. It should be focused around positivity. It should be that time of the year where we're looking forward to it. We're not dreading it. And yeah, I hope it can just be a reminder for that. And I also want to say shout out to all the service workers, all the retail workers, anyone who has to work during the holidays right now too, because y'all are the real ones. I definitely have been there, and I know there are so many people who don't have the option or luxury of being able to take that time off for the holidays. You guys definitely deserve to celebrate them too, and definitely deserve to have the same holiday spirit, but I know it is a difficult time of the year for you too. So shout out to all you guys, because I love you and I appreciate what you're doing. And yeah, but lastly, I just want to say, happy freaking holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for, everything that you've done to support me over the past few years, particularly this year, because as I've talked about, it's been a difficult year. It's been a rough year for me mentally, and being able to get to this holiday season and kind of reflect on everything, all the joy and light and positivity that you guys have shared with me, is truly a gift. The best Christmas gift. Oh, that's so cheesy. It really is. It's a gift to me. And I just want to say thank you so much. And I really hope that all of you guys have a really good holiday season. I hope that you're able to spend Christmas with people you know and love. I hope you guys are able to get properly fucked up on New Year's Eve and be properly hungover on New Year's Day. Yeah, I really hope you guys just have a good holiday season, and thank you so much for, being with me on this journey this year. And I'm looking forward to next year. Let's go 2023. Don't worry, this isn't the last episode of the year. I still have more episodes coming, but in case I'm not able to say it in any of the other episodes, I just want to say thank you, and I hope we have a really good holiday season. And yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Justaposition YouTube channel if you want to see my face and be able to get, oh my gosh, I hit the mic, and contribute to the conversation that we have in the comment sections. And if you have any ideas for future episodes or any topics that you think would be really interesting for me to kind of dissect and talk about, please comment them or message me on Instagram. And make sure you also listen to the new episodes that are out every Thursday. This has been a production of Ramble and Odyssey Studio. New episodes out every Thursday wherever you listen to your podcasts, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Mwah.